Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we try to make sense of those dense corporate filings. And let me tell you, Paramount Gold Nevada Corp has given us quite the puzzle to unpack this time. It's like a treasure hunt, but instead of gold, we're digging for clues to the company's future. And boy, are there some interesting findings. So what is this all about? Well, it is a proxy statement for their 2025 annual general meeting of stockholders. Think of it as the company's annual report card and a sneak peek at what's coming up, all rolled into one. Essentially, they are asking their shareholders to vote on important matters like electing directors, approving their auditor, and giving the nod to some executive compensation plans and stock awards. First off, let us talk about who is running the show. The company is proposing to re-elect 7 directors. These are the folks who are supposed to be steering the ship. The board, which is essentially a group of people elected by the shareholders, recommends that you vote for all of them. They seem to be confident in their current leadership. Now, ownership is always interesting. We see that FCMI parent company holds a significant chunk, about 12.4%, which is quite a lot. Seabridge Gold Inc. also has a notable stake at 4.7%. Then we have the insiders like Rachel Goldman, the CEO, and Carlo Buffone, the CFO, holding smaller but still important percentages. This shows a mix of major shareholders and those running the company. Speaking of the people who check the books, Paramount Gold Nevada Corp is proposing to keep Baker Tilly US LLP as their independent auditor. This is a pretty standard move, but it is worth noting the fees. For 2025, the audit fees were around $309,000 and tax fees were about $18,750. These numbers give us a glimpse into the costs associated with keeping their financial house in order. Now, let us get to the part many find most intriguing: executive compensation. This is often called the say on pay vote. It is an advisory vote, meaning it is non-binding, but it gives shareholders a voice on how much the top brass is paid. The company is asking for approval of the compensation paid to their named executive officers. They have presented a table showing how much was paid versus the company's performance over the last few years. In 2025, the compensation actually paid to the principal executive officer, Rachel Goldman, was about $520,000. For the non-principal executive officers, the average was around $414,000. Looking at the trend, the compensation actually paid to the PO decreased by 29% from 2024 to 2025, while the average for non-payers also went down by 24%. Meanwhile, the company's net loss actually increased by 12%. This disconnect between declining executive pay and a worsening net loss after a period of significant increases. The prior year is a key point to watch. It is not always straightforward to correlate executive pay directly with company performance, especially in resource-based companies where external factors play a huge role. Following the say on pay, they are asking shareholders about the frequency of these votes. Should they ask for feedback every year, 2 years, or 3 years? The board is recommending 3 years. Their argument is that a 3-year cycle allows for a more meaningful, long-term evaluation of their compensation practices, avoiding over-reliance on short-term results. It also gives them time to thoughtfully consider shareholder feedback and implement changes. This is a common debate in corporate governance, balancing regular accountability with the practicalities of long-term strategy. Next up is a proposal to amend their 2016 stock incentive and equity compensation plan. The main point here is to increase the number of shares available for awards by an additional 2 million. They've got 895,000 shares already tied up in awards and about 773,000 available before this increase. The company argues this is crucial for attracting and retaining talent by offering competitive stock-based incentives. This is a pretty standard request from companies looking to keep their employee incentive programs robust, especially in a competitive talent market. But it does mean more dilution for existing shareholders if these awards are eventually exercised. Let's touch on the board's operations. They are saying their board met 5 times last year, and directors generally attend at least 75% of meetings. They also highlight that most of their directors are considered independent, which is good for governance. They've got a number of committees overseeing different aspects like compensation, audit, and governance. This committee structure helps break down the work and bring focused expertise to various areas. The compensation committee, made up of independent directors, is instrumental in setting executive pay. Their report indicates they have reviewed and discussed the executive compensation details with management. This committee plays a critical role in aligning executive incentives with company performance, though as we saw, the correlation isn't always direct or immediate. Digging deeper into executive compensation, the summary compensation table shows raw numbers for Rachel Goldman, the CEO. Her total compensation in 2025 was around $391,000. Carlo Buffone, the CFO, received about $317,000 in 2025. These figures are primarily made up of base salary and stock awards. The company mentions that bonuses in February 2025 were paid half in cash and half in restricted stock units, or RSES, with an additional grant for hitting targets. This is a way to tie a portion of compensation to company performance, which is generally a positive signal. Looking at equity awards outstanding at the end of June 2025, we see a number of stock options and restricted stock units granted to executives. For Rachel Goldman, there are unexercised options and unvested RS. These awards often have vesting conditions tied to things like achieving project milestones or outperforming peer companies. For example, some RSU grants vest upon receiving permits for the Grassy Mountain project, or if the company's share price outperforms a peer group. This clearly links executive rewards to specific company achievements and market performance. Now, what about the directors who are not executives? They receive cash retainers for their service. The chairman gets a $40,000 retainer, while other committee chairs get $5,000 to $7,000 extra on top of their $20,000 director fee. In 2025, non-chair, Employee directors were also granted 75,000 stock awards. This is a standard practice to align director interests with those of shareholders. The total compensation for directors varies, with Christopher Reynolds receiving the highest at about $53,550 in cash and stock awards, reflecting his roles and committee chairmanships. Finally, let's glance at the actual plan document, Exhibit 1. This is the 2016 Stock Incentive and Equity Compensation Plan as amended. It spells out all the details of how stock options, restricted stock, and units are granted. It covers who is eligible, the terms of the options, how they are administered by the Compensation Committee, and provisions for changes in control or termination of employment. This document is the nitty-gritty that ensures everything is accounted for and follows regulations like the ones regarding non-transferability and tax implications. It is dense, but it's the backbone of their long-term incentive structure. So what is the big picture here? Well, Paramount Gold Nevada Corp is clearly focused on incentivizing its leadership and employees through equity. The proposed increase in shares for the stock incentive plan signals a commitment to using stock awards as a key tool for attracting and retaining talent, which is crucial in the mining sector. The say on pay vote, while advisory, gives shareholders a chance to voice their opinions on executive compensation, and the financial performance noted in the pay versus performance table, showing increased net losses alongside a recent decline in executive pay after previous increases, is something investors will undoubtedly scrutinize. The company is seeking shareholder approval on these key items at their virtual annual meeting on the 11th of December 2025. Looking at this filing, Paramount Gold Nevada Corp appears to be navigating a challenging period in the resource sector. The increase in stock options available, while necessary for talent retention, could lead to future dilution for existing shareholders. The financial data shows a company that is still in a loss-making position, which is not uncommon for exploration companies, but the board seems to be taking measures to align executive compensation with performance, albeit with a lag and some complex performance metrics. The upcoming shareholder meeting will be a key indicator of how investors feel about the company's direction and its leadership's compensation strategy. It will be important to see if the company can turn its projects into profitable ventures and if its leadership can earn shareholder confidence. Alright, that is our deep dive into Paramount Gold Nevada Corp's proxy statement. What are your thoughts on their executive compensation and stock incentive plans? Do you think a 3-year say on pay vote is the right approach? Let us know in the comments below if you found this analysis helpful. Please hit that like button and subscribe for more financial deep dives. And don't forget to check out our Discord community, linked in the description for more discussions and insights like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.